we're gonna have people with more money, more borrowing capacity, more people, more demand on a limited, finite resource of property here in Australia. Welcome everyone, it's Scott here, CEO and co-founder of Freedom Property Investors. So I'm gonna make the case to you that from 2025 to 2030, we may in fact see more property house price growth than what we've seen from 2020 to 2025 in certain locations. Now, back in November of last year, we went out and we said,
and Liana, you say that window's about 150 days. So in green here, we've got the cash rate. Now, this cash rate, you're forecasting that potentially we can see rate cuts beginning early next year.
And what we were pointing towards is the changes in interest rates. And all of the banks now, all right, only one bank, only Commonwealth Bank last year was predicting a rate cut in February. I actually came out and said, we're gonna see a rate cut in February. We said 100 days. We're saying that back in November. And now every single major bank, just in the last week, have revised their forecasts from May or later in the year. They've brought that to February. So every single major bank now is saying that we will have a rate cut in February, all right? Once this starts, this is gonna be like high octane fuel into property prices, especially in the affordable areas. Okay, so here are the forecasts from the big four banks. You can see here, CBA, we're gonna start in February. Westpac, start in February. ANZ, start in February. NAB, start in February. By the way, guys, also, all of the banks have already begun cutting their fixed rates. That started early Jan, in December, even in November, and they're continuing to cut their fixed rates. So rates are already coming down in anticipation of this move in February. Now, what I do want to say is this, is that 95% interest rates are going to be cut in February. All right, they're going to be cut. Now, once this rate cutting cycle begins, what is going to happen is that proportion of people is going to grow. What that means is there'll be more people investing, more people buying, prices will shoot up. Also, what you'll find is that people that have been hanging back, maybe waiting for prices to drop, first home buyers, upgraders, they've been hanging back. Once those rate cuts begin, they're also going to enter the market. Now, what you will also find is that for every rate cut, let's say 25 basis points, 50 basis points, that's going to increase the borrowing capacity of a lot of buyers by between $50,000 and $80,000, okay? Possibly up to $100,000 depending on their situation, especially if we see a 50 basis point cut. So what that means is that we're gonna have people with more money, more borrowing capacity, more people, more demand on a limited, finite resource of property here in Australia. We all know about the housing issues that we've got here, not being able to build and construct new property. That has not been remedied, that has not been fixed, and there is no solution in place to fix it. And we still have population growth nationally of above 300,000 people every single year predicted from now until the end of the decade, right? Up until 2030. So if you can imagine housing shortage, 350,000 people conservatively are added to the population every single year. And there's no possible way for us to build enough properties to meet that demand. What does that mean for the housing crisis and house price growth? It means prices can only go one way, and that is up. All right, it is up, and that is what is going to happen. So if you're one of those people that want to figure out your retirement, where you should be investing, how you can actually retire earlier, the next 5 years is a really great opportunity for you, okay? Okay, Jess asked, I have a question for Scott. Does the rate cut sooner in Feb mean the economy is in trouble? Jess, the economy is never in trouble, okay? Well, really, there's two economies, Jess. There's your personal economy. That's you, your family, what you earn, and what's happening around you, your employment and the safety and security there. And then there's just the general well-being of the country. So ultimately, spending is slowing down because the cost of living is so high. And in addition to that, goods and services they're flowing now. There's not a constraint on those goods and services. So the economy is not in trouble, and the economy is just where it needs to be. It's actually coming back to normality. And what it means is that over the next 3, 4, 5 years, we should see 3-4% wage growth over that time. And we should see inflation at around that 2-2.5%. We can play some catch up, and hopefully life will become much more affordable over the next 3 to 5 years. So that's actually the good news. When the interest rates come down, it's actually going to make it easier to build and construct new property. That will take some pressure off prices on property, right? So ultimately, we're coming back to a healthier financial position. We're not in trouble. We're just getting back to a healthier position. But right now, we are not in a healthy position, okay? So that is my take on where the economy is at right now.